going to have a think about the time of the Anglo-Saxons and the Dark Ages. So I'm going to play you a clip now from Horrible Histories all about the smashing Saxons. And it's going to explain the time after the Romans left through the Anglo-Saxon period. And as you watch this, I would like you to press pause when you can and write down some notes about the video. These notes don't need to be very long, they don't need to be full sentences. You can just write in short bullet points with some notes about the different times through the Anglo-Saxon period. And I want you to pay special attention to any dates, okay? So for example, we know that the Romans left Britain around 410 AD. So if they said that would be the first thing I wrote. I wrote 410 AD, Romans left Britain. Okay. So I'm going to play the video now and I'll see you in a few minutes.
Smashing Saxons.
Hello and welcome to the news at When, the Saxon era, when Britain was being shaped by invaders from mainland Europe. To find out more, we go over now to Bob Hale with the Anglo-Saxon report. Bob.
Thank you, Sam. Well, it's 400 AD, that right there is Britain, and here comes the king in a bedsheet. No, not really. It's a Roman emperor, because Britain is under Roman rule, just as it has been for more than 350 years. But all that is about to change, because in the year 410, the unthinkable happened. So unthinkable, in fact, that I can't think of it. What was it now? Oh, I know. The Roman Empire crumbles and the Romans leave Britain with the immortal line, "Don't forget to put the cat out." Something like that. And that's when the problems really start. When the Romans gone, the Picts from up in Scotland decide to invade England. So the king of the Britons, Vortigern, hires a load of warriors from Denmark and Germany, places over there, to help him fight off the Picts. And amongst these warriors are two chaps called Hengist and Horsa, who decide that they like Britain so much, they'd quite like to keep some of it. Luckily, Hengist has a very beautiful daughter. So in one of the weirdest deals in the whole of history, he offers King Vortigern his daughter's hand in marriage in return for Kent. Yep, Kent. And that's just the start. Soon, seeing how easy it is to get your hands on English lands, there are Danes and Germans everywhere. Invaders from the German district of Angern take over the Midlands and the north. Meanwhile, invaders from Saxony take over huge chunks of the south. Yes, England gets overrun with Angles and Saxons, making it officially Anglo-Saxon. And you thought we just made that term up. So, there we have it. That's that. End of the story, end of the line, end of the pier, last dance, last chance, lights off, cats out, done. But not for long. Under Anglo-Saxon rule, Britain changes shape entirely, although obviously not around the edges. Inside, though, it all changes. The Anglo-Saxon invaders shape their newly won lands into 7 major kingdoms called Wessex and Essex and Sussex and so on. But it's not all plain sailing for the Anglo-Saxons. Oh no. Despite their best efforts, they can't conquer Scotland for toffee, which is a shame, as Scotland's got great toffee. While the other unconquered kingdoms, over here in the west, aren't exactly thrilled about the new neighbours. In fact, relations get so bad that King Offa of Mercia, an Anglo-Saxon kingdom shown here in Puce, whatever colour that is, builds a giant ditch cutting off the west of Britain from the rest of Britain, creating the border of what we now call Wales. So there we have it. Scotland, Wales, Anglo-Saxon England, all sitting side by side in perfect harmony, bar a little name-calling and the odd local war. But not for long. Yes, it's 865 and lock up your monasteries because here come the Vikings. In no time, they take over every major Anglo-Saxon kingdom except for this one, Wessex, home of Alfred the Great, who clearly has a high opinion of himself. And for good reason, because Alfie and his family actually managed to hold back the Vikings. But not for long. Well, actually, it's for quite a while, but that's not the point. No, eventually Ethelred the Unready becomes king and gets so sick of the constant Viking attacks that he's presumably never ready for that he decides to kill every single Viking living in England, including the King of Norway's sister, which, unsurprisingly, doesn't go down too well with the King of Norway, who promptly invades England, takes Ethelred's crown, and becomes the first in a line of Viking kings. There's Canute, there's Arthur Canute, there's a quarter of a Canute, except not the last one, until in 1042, an Englishman gets the throne again, except with the Confessor. Hooray! And he then goes and dies. Boo! And 3 different people start fighting over who should replace him. There's an Englishman, a Norman, and a Viking, which sounds like the start of a joke, but it really isn't. Especially for the Englishman, Harold Godwinson, who takes the crown and is immediately set upon by the other 2. And while he's busy fighting off the Viking one, up here, the Norman one, a certain William the Conqueror, attacks down there. Yes, it's 1066, the Battle of Hastings, which signals not only the end of Harold, but also the end of the Anglo-Saxon England altogether. The end of the pier show, the end of the line, the end of the road, the end of the world we know it. And unless I calm down seriously in the next few seconds, it might well be the end of dear old Bob D. Oh, it's too late! My mistake. It's just heartburn. It's just heartburn. Back to you, Sam.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video and I hope you've learned a little bit more about the Saxon era. I also hope that you've managed to write down some notes with maybe some dates on as well, and that's going to help you with the next task. So we are going to have a go at making a timeline. Now, what is a timeline? A timeline is simply a straight line with events ordered on it in chronological order. And what that means is from earliest to latest. So for example, I've got a blank timeline here. As you can see, as it goes along, there are different points. And if these were events, this one would be the earliest, going all the way along to the latest event. Okay, I've got some of the key events from the Anglo-Saxon era here, but they're all muddled up. And I know they're muddled up because if I look at the dates, they're not in the correct order. I've got AD 600 over here, I've got AD 449 over here, they're all in the wrong order. Now AD, you can see all of the dates start with AD. Don't worry about that. That means Anno Domini, and it's the way our calendar works. Technically we are AD 2021, but we don't really say that. So it just is the way our calendar works. Okay, so all of these events are in the wrong order and it's your job to put them in the right order. So I'm going to take you step by step how to make a timeline. So as we go through, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to pause the video, complete the task, and then press play again. So the first thing we're going to do is draw the timeline. So you need something straight like a ruler or potentially the back of a book, something straight in your house. And you're going to turn your book landscape ways and you're going to draw in through the middle of the page. You're going to draw a long straight line. After that, you're then going to draw 9 little lines coming off it exactly like I've done here and try and make sure they're evenly spaced. Pause the video and press play when you're ready to continue. Okay, well done, you've got your timeline drawn. So the next thing you need to do is organise the dates from earliest to latest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my picture, my screen where it's got all of the muddled up events, and you're going to put the dates from earliest to latest. Be really careful, look at all those numbers and make sure they're in the correct order. Okay, there are the events. Pause the video, write down the dates, and then press play when you're ready to continue. Okay, so we've organised the dates from earliest to latest. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add in the extra details, the sentences and the pictures. You might also want to add in anything else from the video that you thought was interesting that we haven't included here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some slides where I've made, like here, the pictures and the sentences a little bit bigger. So what you can do is you can fast forward and rewind through it, pausing where you want to make sure that you've got all the information you need. So I'm going to go through them all now, so just press pause where you need to. Okay. Press pause now and make sure that you've got your timeline written because we're going to go through the answers now. So here is the timeline. This is what yours should look like. So first of all, the Anglo-Saxons invaders arrived in Britain. Then the Anglo-Saxons gradually take over Britain. The Vikings attack from Norway. Alfred the Great becomes King of Wessex. Athelstan becomes the King of Wessex. Athelstan defeats rebels in battle. The Vikings invade England and take back the north. Edward the Confessor becomes king, and then King Harold is killed in the Battle of Hastings in 1066. Okay, well done if you got that right, and well done today. I'll see you for the next lesson.